Political Buzz, your rapid-fire look at the best political topics of the day. 3 questions, 30 seconds on the clock. And playing today, CNN contributor, Maria Cardona, CNN contributor Will Kane, and also CNN contributor and talk show radio host Dana Loesch. All right, guys, first question. Dana, you actually tweeted this last night. It said, it makes sense to me to spend 3 years protesting Obamacare and then support the original architect who defends it still. Not a lot of love for Romney. Should the Republicans get behind him, the candidate? Dana?
I think if they want an epic battle that will overshadow anything that we ever saw in New York's 23rd District with Skozafava and Hoffman, then if that's the candidate they want to get behind, then by all means do so and go ahead and write the epitaph for the tombstone of your party. I just don't think that he's the candidate. I don't think that he's the only one who can raise money. I don't think that he has a conservative record. And I don't think that you can get conservative grassroots who have kept this Republican Party alive for 3 years to get behind someone who I think is Democrat light. So, no, I'm sure he's a great guy and he has nice hair, but he's just not my candidate.
We'll get to nice hair Will in just a second, but Maria, you go ahead and take it from here.
I don't think so, not yet, Kara, because not Dana, not Will, not you, not me, we are not the ones who are going to decide overall who the candidate is. It's going to be up to all the voters who are going to vote in the primary process. That's what the primary process was about. How many times have we been on the show talking about Romney, the front runner, then Bachmann, the one who surged. Now it's Kane, the one who is surging. Perry was a front runner for a while. Now he's fallen back. So that's what this process is about. There's still a lot of time left.
Will?
Let me see if I can move Dana from 0 cents to some amount of sense that Mitt Romney might make. You decide on the percentage. Early on, Mitt Romney being the architect of Obamacare was a deal killer for me. He was DOA. But philosophically, while it's a problem philosophically that he created this, that it suggests he has an odd relationship or thinks an odd relationship between the government and its constituents, I think he's explained it through the most conservative, one of the most conservative principles there are, and that's federalism. This is exactly what states are for, to experiment. But he wouldn't see it on the federal level. So I think that Mitt Romney, we shouldn't totally dismiss him because of the Obamacare, being the Obamacare architect.
All right, guys, question number 2. Occupy, I know. All right, Dana, hold on. You guys are going to have to take this off air. Occupy Wall Street now. We're talking about the protesters there putting blame for our economic mess on both Republicans and Democrats. So is there an Occupy Wall Street candidate they could vote for? Maria?
Well, certainly not anybody right now in the GOP, because we have seen time and again that they are exactly what the leadership, the GOP leadership in Washington is about, which is protecting the 1% of the rich, big corporations who have enjoyed tax subsidies, and they have done absolutely nothing and won't do anything to protect the middle class and protect workers. But if I were to choose a candidate that's outside of the political realm, it should be Zacarías Manuel de la Rocha, the front man and singer for Rage Against the Machine, with Willie Nelson as the VP.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Uh-oh, Dana's rolling her eyes.
Every song is played with the wah pedal. I play guitar poorly, and I'm just always offended that they abuse the same effects pedal in every single song. Yeah, you know what? The Occupy Wall Street, they do have a candidate. They have a ton of videos that are online where they talk about voting for hope and change, Barack Obama again. But Barack Obama is the Wall Street president. He, more so than any other president in history, has received more money from Goldman Sachs, from J.P. Morgan, from all of those exact same companies and banks that the Occupy Wall Street folks are out there protesting against. At the same time, they drive home with their cars that say Hope and Change 2012 bumper stickers on the back. So that is their candidate. They have their candidate in office, and they're raging against the machine while being cogs in the machine.
Well,
no, I don't think they have a candidate. Look, I want to be able to dismiss Occupy Wall Street, and it's impossible to do that. It's also impossible to support it because there's no coherent message that I can find. Is it against capitalism? Is it against banks? If they had a message, we could talk about who that candidate might be. But until they define that message, the best candidates are all the celebrity spokesmen they've managed to gather who also give you irrational, incoherent messages.
Okay, guys, your buzzer beater now, 20 seconds each. We're trying to queue up the Rage Against the Machine. We'll get back to that in just a minute. Massachusetts Senate candidate Elizabeth Warren brings this picture of Scott Brown back into the news. He reminds us that it was a Cosmo shoot that paid for college. Warren says she kept her clothes on. Brown says, thank God. All right, guys, what did you do to come up with tuition money? I'm starting with Will on this one.
I wish I had a fun answer for you. I mean, I could play the card where I worked and play that up, but Kira, I didn't work that much, to be honest. I worked a little bit. My parents paid for college. How different does that make me? Occupy Wall Street can hate me for that.
Now, Maria and Dana, you know he played water polo, so you know he had a Speedo on at some point.
Oh, Googling, Kira.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
Gotta pull up a picture of that.
Maria.
Well, my father actually had to sell empanadas in Colombia to pay for his school and his college, and he swore that that would not happen to us, and so he brought the family here. Gracias, papi. We didn't have to pay for college, thankfully, but I do think that it is something that everybody needs to think about, and I don't begrudge actually Scott Brown doing this. So,
Dana.
Yeah, I don't begrudge Scott Brown doing this either. I mean, it's not like he was in, Hustler or something like that. He was in Cosmo, for crying out loud. Still kind of
Did you begrudge him that?
But no, I paid my way into college with writing scholarships, and my parents helped, and I worked, and I wish that I had a sugar daddy that would have paid my way. I was still a Democrat at the time, so I believed in it, but that's how I did it. Scott Brown took the easy way out. He had the Cosmo spread.
Okay, so here's the highlights. We got to find a sugar daddy for Dana. We want to see Will in a Speedo. And Maria, I want Poppy's recipe for empanadas. And there we go. We're all set.
Way to tie it together.
and Rage Against the Machine, Kira.
Oh, that's
Rage
right.
Against the
I
Machine.
shall not forget.
Yeah, can we get them a different effects
weekend,
pedal?
guys.
Unity.